So this is Switch Radio Sessions, our second ever episode, and today we've got the lovely Matthew Coles on the phone.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. So for people who don't know, what is your band and who are you and how did you start up?
Well, yeah, it's band-wise, it'd be the Matty Coles band, and obviously I'll go out as myself because it's all my own songs. I started writing songs when I was about 25, so I've been doing sort of my own music for about 14 years. 14 to 15 years. And I'd say, I write all my own stuff. I released my first album in 2012 called Three Chords and the Truth. You can buy that on iTunes. I'm about to go in the studio in May, sort of early June, and I'm going to start recording my second album. And I'll go out live, play live loads, sort of every weekend. I do my own gigs, and I do lots of jams in the week as well. So, very busy and, trying to get as much of my own music out there as possible.
So how did you get into the industry?
Into music industry?
Yes.
I was always sort of singing, but I was good friends with the fella that produced my last album, John Rivers. He's recorded with loads of people. I mean, he actually engineered, he produced Ghost Town, by the Specials.
Yeah.
So he was always he was a good friend, and I think I'd done my early sort of stuff when I was my first stuff when I was about 19 or 20 with him. So, and then really, I've always loved music. Do you know what I mean? So I've always been a fan of music. So once I started sort of singing, and then I was watching a lad who I was in a band with, I was watching him play guitar, and I sort of thought, well, I could pick up the guitar and go out and play, because they didn't really want a gig. So I thought, I could really go out and do it on my own. So I did. I picked up a guitar and started writing my own songs. And really, when my daughter was born, made me want to write songs because sort of that life experience. Made me want to write songs. So and I've just took it from there really, and just carried on and on. For the best part of 14 years.
Very nice. So you're talking about gigging when you went out for the first time. Where was it and how was it for you?
The first sort of gigs I ever did, crikey, I'd say on my own, the first sort of gigs I did was around Leamington. It was like the area where I'm from. It would have been Leamington because there would have been more, back then there was more of a music scene in Leamington than there was Warwick. Obviously with transport and stuff, I was all skint, you know what I mean? So getting to Birmingham, into London, into cities was really a hard thing to do, really. So I sort of tried to do it locally as much as I could. And I think you just learn. The more gigs you do and the more years you do it, you get more and more experience. I suppose from when I started to now, it's a hell of a lot different.
Yeah. So normally with writers, we all have well, I'm not a writer myself, but music writers, a lot of them say it's a lot of life influences that influences how they write and what the songs are about. What are your influences?
Yeah, life. Like my new album is sort of a mixture of the last couple of years, I would say. But my last album was there's so many different influences on there. Musically, loads of different bands. So a lot of the Britpop era, but there's even like a hip hop style sort of track on there because I was into hip hop as a kid. Still am. But I'm mainly sort of I'm a bit of a Beatles fan, and the Verve, Oasis, and Paul Weller, Bob Dylan, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, my last album, it's got a lot of political stuff on there as well. So I sort of wrote, the single off that album would have been a song called English Terror. I wrote that about the Iraq and Afghanistan sort of wars and stuff, So I've with writing a lot about my personal life and my daughter and stuff. But also, through watching telly and looking at what's going on in the world, I sort of felt responsibility. I don't know why, but I felt some sort of responsibility to write about that as well.
So you've got an album, Three Chords and the Truth.
Yeah, Three Chords and the Truth.
Do you want to just give a bit of detail about what that's about and what songs are on there, and just a bit of explanation about the songs?
Well, as I say, I recorded that in Leamington with, my good friend John Rivers at Woodbine Studios, and it started out as a sort of as a one-man project, but then turned into, I was originally going to try and get a band in, but I sort of used session players in the end. And it was probably the best way to do it, especially for my first album, because I sort of told them, I sent them demos, like rough mixes, and they sort of got their heads around it. And really, it's about that album is it's about my personal life. It's about really a lot of it's about my daughter. A lot of it's about how I felt about that situation because I split up with my mum when she was very young, and also a lot of it's about what was going on in the world at the time and what still is really a lot. It's about sort of as I'd call it illegal wars and stuff. You know what I mean? And stuff that was going on that I disagreed with completely. So that's what that album's about. It's on iTunes. And you can download it.
Brilliant. Well, we'll get to all the links and everything, and I have maybe find out more information about you soon. You do a lot of songs about protests and awareness, as you've mentioned. Why do you think it's so important to get across messages in music?
Well, I tell you what, I've always been a massive fan of John Lennon, and I think what he did was really important. Not that I could get my message or whatever you call it across as well as he did, because obviously he was a massive personality, he was very famous. But I always believed that music should be real, and it should be about, I suppose that's my sort of, I guess, hip-hop background and being into folk music. And I think the first record that I sort of really opened my eyes was a song called Willie McBride by the Furies. I don't know if you know it. Do you know it? Yeah, and that sort of really opened my eyes at how futile, how pointless war is. And I don't know, I couldn't help expressing it in them songs. Do you know what I mean? I think that, I'd go down the pub and I'd speak to my mates, and I don't know whether it's just me, but I was dumbfounded at how people just aren't aware of what's going on. Or don't seem to want to be aware of what's going on and sort of hide away from what's really going on.
Yeah.
But I think if you're aware of it and we all work together, surely, we can end it.
No, definitely. I always think music's everything you listen to. It's always got some sort of message and always has an impact on, obviously, people's emotions and feelings.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
Now, moving on to your gigging, what's it like going out there and playing to an audience? Your songs that you've written yourself.
I said the other week that it's to somebody, on a radio show. I said, that it really is. That's probably the most important, thing you can do as a musician, really.
Yeah.
Because it's, you can sit in your bedroom, for the rest of your life and play your songs, but no one's going to hear them unless you get out there and actually play onto them. And obviously we all have to do covers because. That's the only, you can warm an audience into what you do by playing songs that they know.
Yeah.
But if you throw your own songs in, then you find that they they come up and they and they like and they talk about your song. But going out live, I don't think there's anything that can beat it. It's a wonderful feeling to play. To be received well. If people like it, it's probably the most amazing feeling in the world, especially if people sing your songs back at you.
Yeah,
there's nothing like that.
It must be such an amazing feeling. So where are you going to be next, gigging wise?
I should be at the Acres in Solihull tonight. That's a jam. A good friend of mine runs it. Also, I'm definitely going to be at Shard End tomorrow. It's the Crown Club in Shard End in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I'm at the Earl of Clarendon in Kenilworth. And Saturday, I'll be at the Engine in Kenilworth. If you go to my to my Twitter or to my Facebook, it's always up there everywhere I am. And I virtually go out every single night of the week. Because we've sort of travelled up and down, the country really.
Yeah.
Me and my bass player, we just drive everywhere. One week we sort of went. We started off in Birmingham. We got to London by about the Tuesday. We was in Brighton on the Thursday, and then Shrewsbury on the Friday.
A lot of travelling them.
And they were all jams really. So there was no paid gigs in that. But it was that hunger to get out there and get your songs across to as many people as possible.
So as you said, your Facebook and Twitter, where can people find out more information about you?
Well, on Twitter, I'm at Colsey 35. So Colsey with a Z, 35.
Yeah.
And Facebook, if you look up Matthew Coles, you should find us on Facebook.
So the first song you're going to perform for us on Sessions this evening is Train. Do you just want to give a little bit of detail on how it came about and what it's all about?
Yeah, this song, Getting on a Train, this is, well, I used to do, obviously, well, I still do, but we drive everywhere now, but I used to get trains and stuff to gigs, so I'd go and see my mate's band in Nottingham, and, and he'd give me, like, support slots with him. Obviously, but there was no payment there, but I'd have to pay for the train, and it was all about, every time you got there, you'd be skint, and like going to London, travelling there, you'd only have enough for the train.
Yeah.
But really, it's about, that song really is about if you've got nothing else, at least you've got music, and it was about the music. It was about, you're walking around with nothing, but you've got your music, and you'll do anything for your music. So that's what that song means to me,
Sounds a little bit like my life at the minute.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is Train. Do you want to introduce it for us?
Yeah, this is Getting on a Train. This is going to be on my new album, which I'll be recording in the summer. I hope you like it.
I worry and I struggle as I walk through this life. Got me suicidal, but I'd sooner be drinking my wine. I get a little bit lonely sometimes. Every time I go, my body and my head feels the pain. I get a little bit lonely sometimes. Every time I go. There's people who get me down. Sooner or later you will find me hanging around. I get a little bit crazy sometimes, 'cause I worry and I struggle and you walk through the door. Got me suicidal 'cause you're always calling for more. I get a little bit lonely sometimes. Every time I go, when I get
Cool. So next one you're going to be performing for us is Window.
Yeah.
How did the title Window come about?
Well, no, I say this is Up by the Window. This is called. This is it's I mean, I guess my vision of this song, as I say, songs. The way I see songs, it's always the listener will sort of make them their own, won't they?
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know how you sort of listen to music, but I've always made songs my own, so I've never really wanted to know what they're about. But if it's about anything, my vision of it is it's about a girl in Amsterdam, you know, sat up in the window while a load of ugly blokes are sort of looking over her. And it's about a mum going there and trying to get her out of that life she's been trapped in.
Yeah.
You know, so it is a meaningful song, and it sort of links a little bit to Sandra McKay. You know, they're sort of, them two songs are a family, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, they sort of link together, them two songs. I even think the girl in Up by the Window is Sandra McKay, you know.
Brilliant.
You know, yeah, a bit weird, but yeah, there you go.
Well, it's on Switch Radio next. Would you like to introduce it for us?
Yeah, this is Up by the Window by Matty Coles.
She's up there by the window, watching the flowers grow, watching the day go by. And outside it's raining, she ain't complaining, no tears in her eyes. Her mother calls, but she can't hear her. There's a man beneath her, there's needles in her eyes. But they're all up there in the lobby, it's their favorite hobby, getting drunk and oh so high. She feels love fading away. She feels love fading away. Hey, oh no. She's up there by the window, watching the flowers grow, watching the day go by. And outside it's raining, she ain't complaining, no tears in her eyes. Well, her mother calls, can't you help her? There's a man beneath her, there's needles in her eyes. But they're all up there in the lobby, it's their favorite hobby, getting drunk and oh so high. She feels love fading away. She feels love fading away. Hey, oh no.
So, Sessions with Matthew Coles. Your next song is Money to Burn.
Yeah.
How did Money to Burn come about?
Well, Money to Burn, I wrote the riff to that years ago, you know, about 10 10 years ago, I'd say, but it might even be longer.
Yeah.
But I always had this riff, and I never had any words for it. And then years later, I was just playing it in my living room, and the words just started coming out. And it's like when I write songs, they just come to me. I don't really ever sit down with a pen and think I'm going to write a song today.
Yeah.
It just sort of comes to me. I think a lot of songwriters say the same, really. But Money to Burn, it is really, again, it sounds a bit depressing, but it's not really. It's a song of hope. It's, in a way, it was sort of, when you're feeling that down, that you've got no one, and but it was, someone's left you, or a situation's gone wrong. But it was just, it was almost like a yearning for someone to rely on. That's how I feel that song is,
Yeah.
That's what it's about, really.
It's up next on Switch. Would you like to do the honours and introduce it for us?
Thank you. Yeah, this is Money to Burn by Matty Coles.
Come out and see me. it burns as it's taking control.
So the next song you're going to be performing, it reminds me a bit like of a Jackson song. It's got the same title, I'll Be There.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the same sort of thing, or give us what it's about?
Not really. I suppose the sentiment's the same.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, but you know, but this song, again, this song has come to me, and it's a crazy. I actually sung it the other night at a gig, actually Saturday night. Because my girlfriend came with me to my gig, because I've done a local gig on Saturday night, and obviously dedicated to her because I wrote it for her, really. But yeah, I mean, we haven't been together that long, and you know, but I wrote this song for her, and it was weird. We were sat in mine last year, and it was like sort of towards the end of the summer, and the sun was beaming through the window, and yeah, and I was sat with her, and I just grabbed my guitar and I started doodling about, and then I just sung it in front of her and wrote it there and then, and you know, and it's great. She wants to co-write though. She was like, I want some royalties on that. You know what I mean?
Don't blame her.
But on the record, there's going to be. I mean, live, I do it with. There's a fella called Al Harper, and he tirelessly, you know, he comes out all the time to all the jams or to people's, you know, all the musicians' gigs. He'll always come to our gigs for us now.
Yeah.
So. And he's a harmonica player. Probably, I mean, he's one of the best I've ever seen. Not that I've seen them all, but he's the best I've ever seen. Heard actually, sorry. But he's going to be playing a harmonica part on that song. And to be honest, the harmonica just makes that song. For me, it makes that song. You know, it's incredible. So I thought I'd have to give Al a big shout out. You know.
Well, you wrote it for your girlfriend and played it for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce it and leave a dedication?
Yeah, well, yeah. This is for Chantal. You know, and it's called "I'll Be There." Yeah, by me, Matty Coles.
In the summer, when you're without a care, all this love that together we share, come find me. I'll be there. When the nights get cold and you're really alone, and you need somebody to hold, come find me. I'll be there. Forever, my love, I'll be there. I'll be there. I can feel it in the weight of these hands. You'll be my girl, and forever I'll understand. As she breaks down and cries, a piece of my soul. Forever, my love, I'll be there. When the nights get scary and you feel the cold. You feel so young, but we're growing so old. Just call to me. I'll be there forever, my love. I'll be there. I'll be there. I can feel it in the weight of my hand. You'll be my girl, and forever I'll be your man. But as you break down and cry, a piece of my soul dies. Forever, my love, I'll be there.
So the next song on Sessions with Matthew Coles is "Wanna Get High."
Yeah. Okay.
But do you want to? What's it all about?
Well, I want to get high. I mean, instantly you'd think it's about drugs, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But there's a few sort of stories about this song that are quite interesting, really. I wrote this song. What happened was I got quite ill last year through one thing or another, you know, like flu bugs and stuff like that. And it meant obviously I couldn't go out, and I ended up sitting around for I couldn't work, and I couldn't, you know, and I was going insane really. So I was sat around for about 2 or 3 weeks because I suffer from my chest, so it always makes me 10 times worse. And I was just that sort of, you know, annoyed because I mean I can't watch telly. That's why I go out every night. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not one of these that can sit watching telly every night.
Yeah.
And I've always disagreed with people that sit in and watch, you know, just watch telly and don't get down there. I think, you know, you should get on Facebook and get out in the pub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and I want to get high. Really, it's about you only got one life. You know, you only live once.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm living, I want to go out and I want to enjoy myself and I want to do what I love, which is music. And I want to be around people that are like-minded and that enjoy music. And really, yeah, it's about I want to live before I die. You know what I mean? I want to get high. You know. And the other interesting story, which I've got to say, is I'd done a gig about 2 weeks ago in Wolverhampton, and no one had heard it before. And this is why, I mean, it's going to be my next single anyway. I knew when I wrote it was going to be my next single.
Mm-hmm.
But no one had heard it before, and this chap jumped up, and I said to him, you know, it's easy to learn, sing along. And everybody was singing, and this chap jumped up, and he was singing, you know, to the top of his voice. So I called him up, and I just jumped off the mic and let him carry on. Well, afterwards, he was crying, and he was holding my hand and shaking. And I said to him, "It's all right, mate. It's all right." He was like, "I love that song. I heard that song, you know, and I love it, you know." And they cuddled him, and I went, "Oh, that's great." And I thought, you know, instantly you think, "God, you know, what's he crying for?" But obviously he's emotional about it, but. He went off and sat down, and then, you know, Mark, one of my friends, walked up to me and he said, "Did you realise that he lost his daughter last week?" And he said that he's been down, and his wife said that he hadn't had his head up all week, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Mm.
But listening to that song, as he said, it's made him come out of his bubble. It's made him come out of, you know. So I thought that was pretty amazing, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Music it's a brilliant way to change people's emotions and get right into the soul.
Well, it was almost scary as well. I mean, I remember travelling home that night and thinking, you know, feeling a hell of a responsibility. Then I thought, oh my God, you know, it just shows you how important. Not feeling it wasn't an egotistical thing. It was almost like an emotional thing for me. It was like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe that somebody's, you know, connected to something that you've done, you know, that much in such a tragic, circumstance as well.
Well, it's it's your next single. Do you want to introduce it for us?
Yeah. This is my next single. It's going to be released this year. Definitely, I'm recording it in the summer. This is "I Want to Get High," by Matty Coles.
Her mother told me she's got drugs on her brain. She'd shoot the heroin and she loved cocaine. 'Cause I had a baby, she said, and they took her away. Cried Paul, Sandra McKay. She don't believe in love, she don't believe in God, she don't believe in anything anymore, anymore. Last time I saw her was on a beach in LA. It made me feel so bad as they carried her away. And we caught a plane that night down Mexico way for the girl, Sandra McKay. Now you can never realize if you never felt this girl's pain. This life's so crazy, it could drive you insane. 'Cause I had a baby and they took her away. Like Paul, Sandra McKay. She don't believe in love, she don't believe in God, she don't believe in anything anymore, anymore. She don't believe in love, she don't believe in God, she don't believe anymore, 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 anymore. I know it's never too late, but I really can't wait. I wanna live before I die. I'm sick of people in the same old town, they keep bringing me down. I wanna make it to the other side. I wanna get high. I wanna get high, so high. Don't you know you're trapped inside where all the good people hide? Don't you wanna laugh till you cry? I'm sick of people in the same old town, they keep bringing me down. I just wanna live before I die. I wanna get high, so high. I wanna get high, high. Don't you know we're trapped inside where all the good people hide? Don't you wanna make it to the other side? I'm sick of people in the same old town, and they keep bringing me down. I just wanna live before I die. I wanna get high, so high. I wanna get high. I wanna get high. I wanna get high. Oh, I wanna get
So this is Sessions with Matthew Coles. It's your last single that you're going to be singing for us here on Switch.
Yeah, okay.
And it's called Whisper.
Whispers in the Trees.
Whispers in the Trees. Do I have to whisper it?
No, not at all. No, yeah. The Whispers in the Trees. It's a song for my daughter. I wrote it a couple of years ago, and I wrote it on my push bike. Actually, I was coming home late one night, and I had the melody in my head, and I started singing the words, and I annoyed my neighbours when I got home because I immediately went to the keyboard and started writing the song. And I wrote the song. I say it's for my daughter, really. It's about sort of, in a strange kind of way, it's about letting go of things that you try to be in control of that you're not really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a Sunday dad. Well, I was up until that point, and it was always frustrating for years. And it was kind of letting go of the fact that I'm never really going to be your full-time dad, and we're never really going to have that bond, or hopefully we will do one day, but at the moment we're never really going to have the bond that I always wanted to have, which sounds a bit upsetting, but obviously this is what music is. This is how I express myself in music. So
yeah,
that's the truth of the song. That's how I wrote it. That's why I wrote it. And
lovely.
So it's for her. It's for my daughter. Yeah.
Well, it's your last one you're singing for us on Switch, so do you want to have the honours to introduce it?
Yeah, this is called Whispers in the Trees. This is for Holly. By Matty Coles. Don't know. As I'm standing cold and alone, well, I can't believe how much you've grown. And if I only had one night left, gonna make this one the best. But it whispers in the trees how it's brought me to my knees. And I know it's not your fault. Can't believe I'm finally losing you, but I don't know. But it whispers in the trees
I'm praying all of this for you, 'cause the words can't express how I feel. You see, I've never really ever found love, but I saw it in you, and it's real. But I don't know.
Brilliant. Matthew, thanks ever so much for joining us on Sessions.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks for having us.
All the best with the rest of the gigs that you've got coming on.
Cheers. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks ever so much for joining us.
It's been a long time coming since I've been out of my mind, and I spent too long running. I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't feel my own feet. Man, I gotta get away. It's been a long time since it's been over, and I've been wasting time, and I've been out just like the rover. But I can't eat, I can't sleep, can't walk down my own street. Man, I must be out of my mind. Cause I've got a ticket to nowhere. Come with me, I'll take you there, where the feelings are real, where you just can't feel. It's been a long time coming, and I've been feeling down, 'cause you spent too long running. I can't eat, I can't sleep, can't walk down my own street. Man, I gotta get away. Cause I've got a ticket to nowhere. Come with me, I'll take you there, where the feelings are real, where you just can't feel. Been out on the 509, stuck with you up in my mind, where the feelings are real, where you just can't feel. Ba-ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da, da.